every now and then there's always something that just comes out of nowhere that I never hear about until it's like years later, or I hear about it while it's on and I end up falling in love with it. Primal is one of those shows. I did not know about Primal when it was happening, and I finally got to sit down and watch this show, and I think this show is a masterpiece. It is one of the most beautifully crafted visual storytelling series I've ever seen in my life. And the craziest part about the show is there's no dialogue. There's little to no dialogue. I've only seen the first season, so I don't know what happens in season two yet. And it is just an incredible series. Also, on a side note, that I definitely think that there is some correlation to how raw this show is and to like how the times feel. So Primal was a show that started in 2019, created by Genndy, Genndy Tartakovsky. I think I said that correctly. And this is the guy who created Samurai Jack and Dexter's Laboratory, just for reference, right? So you know he's got some skin in the game, and he's got some good shit under his belt. And there are definitely some correlations between Spear and Jack, just like the look, overall aesthetic of the show, using some horror themes and things like that. And this show just takes you on this like journey. First of all, it's set at like the dawn of evolution. Like this is caveman times, you know what I mean? And there's like dinosaurs and like feral bat demons and apes and all this other stuff, and it is crazy. Like the level of just like animation, storytelling, violence, and there's always some kind of show like this, like Elfen Lied, but like there's like the beauty and the violence somehow, but it's also this raw, integrative like situation going on. And the thing about Primal is it's about survival. It's about survival at a time where survival was the number one thing to do, and I don't think survival's never not been, but in a time frame where there was no electricity, there was no planes or anything. Like this is like this man just has to ride a dinosaur around, bro. Like you know what I'm saying, like he has to kill his food every day. He has to make clothes out of the thing he just killed 2 minutes ago. You know what I mean? Like this show is so real when it comes to how you had to survive back then. With the Flintstones, they had cribs and like cars where they use their feet to get around. You know what I'm saying? But like on this joint, it's like, nah, nigga, we gotta kill to eat. We gotta eat to live. And Primal just has this thing where it's like you take the two main characters who lost something so special, and they come together and they learn to love each other and survive through the care of each other. That is some incredible storytelling. And this is just the first episode, right? Like, you have Spear, he has kids and a wife. They get unalived, sadly, by a group of, I want to say, Tyrannosauruses. And then you have Fang, who is a mother who has two T Rex pups, because I don't know what they're technically called, and they get killed by that same group. And automatically, we have two main characters, two broken stories, two broken families come together. And then they have to literally learn how to learn each other as the show goes. So, episode two is like, generic episode. The new team is together. They have to learn to work together. They have to learn how to ration and things like that. But as the show goes, you see they start to care about each other. They start to love each other, even to the point where they risk their lives for each other. And again, not a single word is spoken, but every emotion is felt, every beat is hit, every tone is made with facial expressions, animation, story. No words are spoken, and that's the beauty of this show. There's this world out there, and the world is out to end you by any means necessary to survive. The world is out to make sure that you are on your p's and q's and on your ten toes down every day. You better not get caught slipping, because you will end up dead, and that's like crazy. And I love the relationship between Spear and Fang, because it's definitely one of those adopted family type things where like, all right, look, we ain't got nobody, we rock out with each other, but we also need to get to know each other. So it's not an instant bond, but the bond comes throughout the show. And I would say this bond is really, really shown in episode 6, which is a great episode. Not the best episode, because the episode before that might be the best episode, where Fang is injured and Spear is doing everything he can to like nurse her back to health, protect her, make sure nobody gets to her. And at the end, she's healed and she lays out this big roar after laying to waste a bunch of the enemy. And it's like, see, that's the bond we were looking for. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was already somewhat of some form of care, but now the bond is, in my opinion, established in that moment when they both scream and roar together. And then the episode cuts to the credits. It is so like intriguing watching the show. Like when I first started, I was like, okay, I get the job, but I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. Like I was locked in, and I think I sat to like 6 episodes straight because I was just like, man, I just lost track of the time. That's how good this show is. Now I do get that this show isn't for everyone. The violence may be a bit of a turn off. The sad tone may be a little bit of a turn off. Maybe just prehistoric stuff in general isn't your cup of tea. Like I know people out there who don't like Jurassic Park. You know what I mean? So there's things like that where it can feel like it could be a turn off for someone like that. But then people who like stuff like this, who like creativity, this is a perfect show. It's so crazy how Genndy Tartakovsky makes this work. Now, I will say there's an episode that I really like that is played off as supposed to be like some kind of supernatural magic kind of thing, but there's so much like warmth and pain to it and vulnerability. But the way they handle it, it's just you feel every emotion going through that episode. And the way the episode ends, and when you find out a certain key point about one character that shows up in this episode, you're just like, yo, that is crazy. It's like how they make so much character for people who don't even speak blows my mind. There's one episode that I think is really crazy where it's one of those episodes where like when we were kids and there was just like that one really dark episode or that one really weird episode and we were just like, well, what the hell was that about? And we didn't register it as a dark episode till we got older. Like I'd say like Frax's Revenge from Time Force, or like Ultimate Enemy from Danny Phantom, or like things like those where you're just like, what was that episode, bro? Like what was that? And this is one of those episodes. It's like just real violent and real crazy and just real out there, but it's one of the best episodes of the season. And the way it just ends, you're just like, this is dark for an already dark show. But this was like, what the hell did I just watch? You know what I mean? And it's a great episode. But it's just like, yo, this is like one of those fever dream episodes that you forgot happened because they only aired it once. And then when you get the show on DVD, you're like, I remember this one now. You know what I mean? Like it's like that. So this show's just a great watch. I can't even really go into some of the spoilers because I do really want people to watch the show, and I think the show should be watched. I know season 3 just started like a week or so ago, and I do plan on watching season 2 as fast as I can because I do want to review season 2 because I know season 2 is apparently really good. So at least the show stays good, and that's what I'm excited about. Whew. But yeah, I definitely recommend Primal. I think this show is special, and I hope it doesn't overrun itself, but it probably could. But it seems to run about 10 episodes a season, so maybe not. But going into like this one more key detail, there is a character that shows up towards the end of the season who seems to be a little more advanced. So we know there's at least some advanced people out there, and she is going to be interesting going forward. So I'm going to leave it there with that. But there is some really cool correlation there, and I hope she sticks around. So, yeah, with that being said, welcome back to the channel. I'm glad I got to make this video. I'm glad I got to share this with you guys. Like, comment, subscribe for more. I will see y'all on the next one.